All right, let's do something different. Let's reverse it. Let's say Dany's up there, she hears the bells, and she doesn't burn the keep. She doesn't burn down innocent children and everybody in the King's Landing. So let's look at that. So with doing that, you know, did she free these people from a tyrant? You know, Cersei was an evil motherfucker. She did a lot of evil things. So I'm guessing Dany would probably take her out on the rocks right out there by the ocean, and then her dragon pops up and burns her, you know, and kills her. So she gone. Tyrion might have gotten back in her good graces because everything that he told her actually happened. I think he told her, you know, they're gonna ring the bells. Let's, you know, end it right there. So maybe she forgives him. You know, she was really upset with him for betraying him, for turning his back on her. Did he really turn his back on her? No, he really loved her. You know what I mean? And she just didn't like little people like that. So at the end of the day, she becomes the queen. People are happy, but this rumor that Jon is a Targaryen and is actually the rightful king of the throne, I think what happens is, just like you saw at the end of the episode, which doesn't happen a lot, it's very rare, but all of the kingdoms, all of the families have this meeting. That's like the closest you're gonna get to Parliament. But they have this meeting of the, you know, to talk about who's really should be the rightful, you know, on the throne. And, you know, Jon's name would have came up because of all the rumors, which they're true. And people, you know, on those times, it's all about, you know, they really are hardcore on like who is the rightful king. You know, it's a big thing. So Jon, of course, he doesn't want it. But can they force that on him? Can they say, hey, look, you gotta be king, man? I think Jon would have saw eventually like, this bitch is crazy, man. And he would have had to take it. And Jon would have been a good king. I really wanted to see Jon get more involved. I thought once he saw what she did, he saw that he had to take it. He had to be king, or this place was never gonna be right. And that segues us into the craziest fucking shit. So Bran, the fucking three-eyed bastard, or not, he's not a bastard. The three-eyed wheelchair, non-doing anything person, the person that has done the least is chose to be king. Now, let's talk about the reason why they chose him. Tyrion, the prisoner, he's actually the traitor, the one that's in handcuffs, is actually telling these people on this that are making a ruling who should be the king. I find a few things wrong with that. You're deciding on who should be the king. You know that Jon is actually the last Targaryen, rightful, you know, in line for the throne, but nobody brings his name up, not even his two stepsisters. Like, of course, maybe they didn't bring it up because he didn't want it. I don't want it. Why he doesn't want to be king? So you think about who has the right, who should have the opportunity to say who's going to be king. You know, like, I don't think one person, and that's why they met like that. But it was just like they all were like, you just didn't have any, like, I think Sansa might have wanted to say something, but she didn't want to say it, you know, she held her tongue. But it was just kind of that scene was weird. Like, so Grey Worm, the Unsullied, has Tyrion, and that's his prisoner for killing the queen. So this leader of the army, he's actually standing in place, like, just like Tyrion said, he doesn't have the right to make these type of decisions he's making. I just thought, you know, for Bran to be king, he's got to have some emotions, but he doesn't because he's the three-eyed raven. He also can see the past and he can see the future. So I guess that would give him some type of advantage if they ever had to go to war with anybody, but he doesn't have any emotions, so he doesn't care about war, love. Like, does he have mercy? Is he like, He's not going to be thoughtful, but he knows everything. But is this something that's going to help him or hinder him being the king? At the end of the day, they just had to do something quick and depict Bran. Now, let me give you my theory about Bran. For the longest time, I thought he was the Night King. I'm waiting for him, like this theory to come true for me, and they totally dodged me on it. So Bran, he gets pushed out a window, catching Jaime and Cersei fucking, brother and sister, and Jaime pushes him out the window. He breaks his back, neck, whatever. I think it's spinal, Mike Tyson. So he gets paralyzed, he's in a wheelchair. He hasn't done shit since that, like nothing. Oh, he went to the tree of knowledge and became the three-eyed raven. So now he can hop into these ravens and see shit and be weird. All he did was make people uncomfortable in season 8. Like just looking at people like this. And all of a sudden he's king now and he's talking. So it was just kind of a weird choice, but we're gonna go with it. Let's go with it. The other thing, the first time I've ever seen these guys travel from kingdom to kingdom, it takes them a little while to get there, like a couple of episodes. They on the boat. Season 8, I know we're in a rush and we're trying to get things done. They can travel within the episode to another kingdom across the ocean. They're there. I know the dragons can fly, you know, cool. The boats aren't gonna go any faster. They're using wind power. So I'm not gonna even, you know, judge them on that. What I am gonna judge them on is the first day out, they shot this dragon down, one shot, perfect shot. The next day, they're out there and you can't land one good shot. You can't land one good shot. And you had probably like 60 of those damn scorpions. So that was a little far-fetched, but we are talking about dragons. So I just found that kind of funny that, you know, they hit the first dragon, one shot, dead on, and all they had to do, their plan was just to come from the back. Now, were they planning on it to be foggy that day, or was that just a coincidence? But it definitely, if you have a dragon, you're definitely, of course you're gonna win the battle. I thought it was gonna be more of a fight, but it was just really her burning everything. I don't even think soldiers, the troops on the ground had to do anything. But that brings us to another thing. Why do we have to have these long phases of and for instance, on this last episode, Arya, she ran through King's Landing for about 10 minutes. Like, we already know she's burning the damn town. We already know that Arya's gonna make it out. Like, why did we have to waste time on her running through King's Landing? What did that, like, I'm always big, like, if you give me this, I wanna see, like, you close it out. If you show me a gun, I wanna see you shoot it. The gun never went off. Like, what was the point? There was no point. There's nothing. Dramatic, to add a little layer of dramatic? No, it didn't do that for me. All it did was upset me because I knew, look, I only got another 20 minutes left of this episode. We got a lot of stuff to close out. So let's triple back to when Daenerys gets inside of the Red Keep. She actually had a, it's like kind of like a vision of being in the Red Keep and walking around, and it looked like it was snowing, but it was actually ashes. So that was pretty cool to see her actually replay that vision. So like I was saying, if you show me a gun, I want to see you fire it. And that was kind of that. You showed me a vision earlier on, and then you actually close it out with actually the vision becoming true. Now, of course, Jon's in there. He sees her. He like, man, if I let her go on any longer, it's gonna be a lot worse. So what does he do? He first says his favorite line, "You'll always be my queen." But I knew when he said it like that, like, "You'll always be my queen," like stabbed her, I knew that was coming, man. And the way she took that stab, man, she was really taken back. And she never thought, I don't think she didn't see it coming, man. But anybody else probably could have saw it like from 100 miles away. With that, the dragon, let's get on the dragon. So the dragon comes up and like, man, what the fuck's going on in here? Why is she laying down? Why she ain't moving? And then he looks at Jon like, you did this to her. But did the dragon know that she was like doing too much, man? You know, he is the one actually divvying out the punishment to everybody. He's the one that he's like the slut. Like, he's actually doing the work, so he knows what's going on. And he wanted to probably do a little something to John, but again, John, he's that dude. The dragon, like, man, I ain't gonna kill you, but I'm gonna show you what I could have done to you. And he burns the throne. The one thing that this whole show is revolving around gets destroyed. So where do you go from there? You know, do you build another Iron Throne? Do you try to duplicate it, or do you do something else? With that, I feel like, was that closure for us? Does that mean Game of Thrones is over forever? No. They got prequels in the works. You know, they're gonna go back to Targaryen times. But what I'd like to see them do is just like some type of, like, maybe a 2-episode finisher. Like, let us catch up with these favorite characters that we love so much. We want to see them after this. We want to see how they figured out things after. The last but not least, the thing that I most dislike about Game of Thrones season 8 is the lack of finishing things up. Like, you had so many things to talk about, and the second episode, filler. The fourth episode, filler. You had the second episode with basically nothing happened. And you got 7 kingdoms. You got a war coming from the Walking Dead. You got Cersei over at King's Landing. You got so many things. Arya. I mean, all these characters, all these little, you know, plots. But you have an episode of motherfuckers sitting around the fire singing a song. Like, it was just a lot of opportunities missed. And it for a show that I've given 8 years of my life to end like that. Now, I'm not signing a petition to say reshoot the thing. I just think they missed the mark. You know what I mean? Like, they could have done so much. You have so many great episodes in between this season 8. From season 1 to season 8, you got the Battle of the Bastards. You got the Red Wedding. You got like just endless things that were like the damn episodes were on point. Everything was on point. I like stayed tuned to Game of Thrones faithfully, but you lost me. You lost me on this one. You know, I can say overall probably the greatest show of all times, but season 8 was basically disrespect. And when I say Game of Thrones, you better put some respect on my name. You know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's over. And with Wait For It movie reviews, we're gonna move on to the next one, which is Power. I want you to stay tuned. You know, this is the last season. Power is going down. LG the Movie Man, Wait For It movie reviews. Hey people, like, comment, and then hit that subscribe button. Wait For It movie reviews.